What's up guys, my name is Ace, and I know a lot of you guys have been waiting a very long time for this, but I finally developed and perfected my accuracy drill for Advanced Warfare. I couldn't simply copy and paste the drill from Ghosts because there's a lot of changes with the movement and things like that, so I did have to make quite a few changes, and that's why it took so long. So I hope you guys are excited for this drill. It's designed to help hone your accuracy, and it's also great for warming up before you jump into a game. Let's get into it. Alright, so let's get into the setup for this drill. So the map that we want to use, I like using the map Detroit. I find it works best for this drill. You may want to play around with other maps, but for me, this is the map that works the best because it has a couple really big open areas, and that's what we want to see for this drill. For our mode, we are going to be playing free-for-all. For our custom options now, we want to change a few of these options. So we don't want there to be a time limit, and the score limit, if you want, you could put it at like 75 points just so you like have a stopping point. But I find 75 points really isn't enough for me personally. I like to go a little bit more than 75 points, so I just go unlimited, and then I just end it whenever I feel like ending it, essentially. Okay, so the things we want to change here, we want to disable dynamic events, map score streaks. We just don't want anything throwing us off here. Kill cam, doesn't really matter, enabled. Minimap radar, we want that set to always on. The reason for this is we aren't focusing on our ability to basically find enemies. It's strictly an aiming drill, so we're just focusing on our accuracy. So we want to know where our enemies are so that we know where to shoot. For spawn settings, all of those we keep the same. For health, I like to use 150% health. You could use 200% if you wanted, but I recommend at least 150% health for this. The reason for this is we want to be able to practice hitting multiple consecutive shots. And if you have 100% health, then you get used to only hitting 4 shots in a row, rather than like 6 or 8 shots in a row or something like that. The more shots that you can consecutively hit on a really consistent basis, the better your accuracy is going to be. So you want to set that to at least 150, or you could go to 200 if you want to get a little crazy with it, but I find with the movement, 150 works best. Health regeneration, all of this stuff normal. Everything else, yeah, stays the same. All of this also stays the same, and all of that. So now we'll get on to the number of bots. I like using like 9, 10, or 11 bots, somewhere in that range. The more you go, or more bots you go, the more hectic it's going to be, because this is free-for-all, and it is a relatively small map, so there are going to be bots all over the place. If you have too many bots, it might be a little too difficult for you, too few, and you aren't going to get enough practice with it. So somewhere between 9 and 11, I recommend starting at 9, and then if you want, you can try 11 at a different time. And we're going to set that bot difficulty to recruit. The reason for this is these are simply targets to practice on. We don't want them constantly killing us and ruining any sort of rhythm that we're trying to develop. It's all about rhythm and repetition, and we don't want these bots screwing any of that up for us. So recruit bots, if you set it at 11 recruit bots, you will eventually get overrun by the bots anyways. So it's not like it's going to be way too easy or anything like that. And like I said, we are just focusing on aim. So now let's move on to the classes that we're going to create. This is the class that I recommend creating, although I was going to make one minor change after running through this. I realized Scavenger is pretty much needed on this. So you want to use the AK-12 is what I recommend, just because it has a consistent fire rate. So the BAL has a variable fire rate, which can be a little bit difficult to get used to. So does the HBRA. So I find the AK-12 is simply the best for this drill. You want to use a full auto weapon because you want to be able to get used to countering that recoil and to handling recoil. If you use a semi-auto, you don't get used to that recoil. Semi-autos can be good for certain aspects of aim, but I find for this drill, full auto is the way to go. I like using the foregrip, quick draw, and extended mags for this. I highly recommend at least using extended mags for this drill because you are going to take a lot of shots to get a kill. You can have the RW1 pistol as a secondary. I use that, like basically, if I run out of ammo, then I'll just whip this out, get my last kill, and then I'll reload my regular gun. Other than that, pretty much you just want peripherals and scavenger. Toughness is kind of, if you want, you can use toughness. Same with lightweight. I just threw it on just because I had some extra points. So that's going to wrap it up for the class and the setup. Let's hop into a game, and I'll start explaining what you actually do in the drill. So as I was developing this drill, I discovered that it's not necessarily about who has better accuracy in this game. It's more about who has better accuracy while utilizing the new movement mechanics in Advanced Warfare. So what I had to do was try and implement the movement as much as possible into this drill. So basically what we're going to be doing is we want to be in every single gunfight trying to use some form of the exo movement. You may want to jump, you may want to strafe. You just have to do something before taking your shot or while you're taking your shot at your enemy. Now, typically, side-to-side movement is going to be better, so you don't want to just be jumping straight at your enemies every single time, because that's just going to get you killed in a regular public match. You want to try and use lateral movement to your target, but the number one thing you want to focus on with this drill is accuracy. Accuracy over movement, so you don't want to be missing very many shots at all. You want to try and hit every single one of your shots. Of course, you are going to miss the odd one, but you want to try your best to hit every shot you can. So if you notice that you're boosting around and jumping around like crazy and you're missing lots of shots, slow it down a bit, focus on your aim, and then as you get that aim and that rhythm with your aim, then you can start implementing those movements back into this drill. So with the AK-12 and 150% health, which is how I like to do this drill, I can typically get 4 to 5 kills per magazine. So that's what you want to be aiming for. If you can get 5 kills every magazine, then you're definitely doing something right. If you're getting 4 kills per magazine, you're still doing okay, but you could do a little bit better. If you're getting 3 or less kills per magazine, you have to really start focusing on your aim rather than the movement. Even if that means just not using the exo movement for a little while, just focusing on your aim, staying on the ground, just getting your shots on target, then slowly build up that rhythm while implementing the exo movements. Now, I find the best areas to hang out in are these 2 open areas in Detroit that I'm showing throughout this video. The reason for that is you've got lots of open areas that you can implement your double jumps and things like that. You aren't going to be sort of contained in a building where you can't strafe and jump around effectively. And you have spawns all around you, so you're constantly going to be spinning around trying to find enemies and shooting enemies in all different directions. You're going to get used to trying to dodge the bullets that are coming from all these different directions as well. And this will definitely affect your reaction time as well. It'll make it so you have to react quickly to your enemies. Because even though the recruit bots, if you have 3 enemies looking at you at once, they're all going to start shooting at you, and you do have to react quickly to take care of them because you don't have any cover. And I don't want you to actually use cover for this drill. This is all about just developing your accuracy. So just like with any drill in any sport, this is all about repetition and developing a rhythm and muscle memory by doing this. So you want to do this as often as you can if you're struggling with your aim, and you want to do this for at least, I would say, 10 minutes at a time, at the very least. I would actually go for a little bit longer, especially if you find that you aren't getting that consistency with your accuracy, but it really depends on what you're willing to spend. The more time you spend doing this, the better your shots are going to be. The principle behind this drill is if you can consistently hit 8 shots in a row in a private match, when you transfer that back over to regular public matches with normal health, hitting 4 shots in a row is suddenly a walk in the park. So that's going to wrap it up for today's drill. Let me know in the comment section below if you have any questions about this drill. Sometimes people are a little bit unsure about why I do one thing or another with my drills, and I'd be happy to answer that in the comment section below. Also, if you have any suggestion for a future drill, please feel free to leave that in the comment section below. I'm always looking for feedback and for suggestions for drills. So if you find that you're struggling in a certain area, then let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see if I can develop a drill to help you become more effective in that particular area. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more drills and tips like this if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.